You're a little low. You Yes, I'm over 100. Let's go. It's just me. Cool. Yeah, Shannon, right now is going to step out and work on the audio real quick so we can get this going. And now I can't hear her either. I used to be able to hear Shannon. All right. Shannon is stepping out. We're going to check this out. Try and get on top of it here.
Tyler, can you hear me now? I'm gonna
I
enter.
can hear you now. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna enter us in, and we're gonna enter into the Best Ball Mania BBM, and that way we can at least you can get us started, Tyler. And then if
You
you
didn't
want to
do the
let me know who's
BBN.
on the. Oh, I didn't do it.
No, I think you're on college.
We're on a roll here. Let's. We're good. Oh, apparently the audio's good though, so that's good news, Tyler. Hold
Uh,
on.
yeah. All right. All right.
All right, guys.
We're
Pets' heads
we're
are
here.
falling off.
Hey, you did it again, I think. You did the college best ball. You didn't do
Ah, okay.
best ball mania.
So right now that's the college football, which actually is sounds like an intriguing
Brand
one.
new.
That's exciting. I gotta jump
Yeah,
into
you
some
got to
of
do
those.
your
I haven't
research for that one.
waded into that one yet, but we're trying to do the best ball mania. Where you at? Let's see, lobby, home. It's probably on the main. Where's
Click NFL, and so it
NFL?
shrinks all the. Yeah,
Aha,
yeah.
there. We got a lot of contests going on. Here we
I
go.
got a
Best ball
ton,
mania.
and that's why I'm well over 100 right now. Is all the different contests.
All right, so right now, come join us in this BBM 5 best ball draft. Confirm, hopping in right now. All right, off to a rough start here with sorry about the audio issues, but I think we're back and we're rolling here. So I'm excited for
Hmm.
our first team best ball. We're going to draft as a team. That way we can kind of go over some of the concepts and strategy that we're employing that we've been talking about on some of our other videos on our LineStar YouTube channel. If you haven't already, make sure to check those out because there is a lot of strategy involved. It's a little bit different from your standard fantasy league, right? So there's a lot of strategies that you can employ, and Tyler can talk to you about how he's employed that over his over 100 best ball drafts so far this season. For me, I'm in the single digits still, so I got to get after it a little bit here today. As you
Yeah,
can
you do.
see, my team Shansum needs some players, so as we wait for this contest to fill up a little bit, Tyler, what have been some of your biggest takeaways as you've been drafting?
I mean, the running back market is always an interesting one, and it is once again this year. One of the things that we're seeing is with wide receivers going so early, there's some really good running backs that have a lot of upside kind of later in the draft. So it is still, uh, it's easier this year to go like a zero RB type build than it has been in years prior, just because there's so many more running backs going later. So that is definitely one of the things. And I will also use that to do the intro in of talking about our LineStar best ball product that's going to be out a little bit, and I've been working on those projections a little bit. And one of the things while doing that I've really, really noticed is I truly believe in the hero RB, which is one stud running back and then, wait.
Yeah.
Uh, it's just there are so few running backs that are going to get that, 20 plus touches per game situation. And
Right.
if you get that guy that can stay healthy, it's just such a huge benefit for your team. And then you can still get the ceiling chances with, the backups, whatnot later in the draft. And that's one thing that I'm just falling into more and more this season than I have been for.
So right off the bat, we are pick 12. So not ideal.
Ooh.
I personally don't love this position because you have to go back to back. But what are your thoughts on position? How have you done? What's your favorite place to draft?
My favorite has really been probably 5 through 10-ish.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind 11, 12, but like I really want a guy to fall, to me at that spot.
Right. Okay. So who might fall to us at 12? Let's see. We got this started here. CMC's off the board first. Not super surprising. However, I don't think we've ever seen a running back repeat as RB1 since like the early 2000s, if I'm not mistaken. I think I have a note on that. So what are your thoughts on CMC first overall? Would that be your move?
What I have been going to, and the whole reason is because CMC is just so much the number one pick where everybody wants him as the number one. I've been going to Tyreek or CD Lamb there, and my exposure to CMC has come at the number 2 spot.
Yeah, I think CMC, obviously he's a fantasy beast, but I mean, he's entering that age 28 season. Statistically, age 29 is when you start to see that drop off a little bit. I mean, he's insane, but it's worth mentioning. I personally, as you said, like the value of wide receiver in best ball, I feel like I have to go wide receiver there, but you can't argue with getting CMC first overall. I still think it's a great pick,
totally.
but personally, I don't mind like a CD Lamb either there. So we're coming up here short. Oh, so go ahead.
I'm going to try and have my 8%, CMC, but I'm not trying to go over that. I'm trying to protect myself a little bit there, but it's not a spot I love.
Yeah.
One thing I will say is the last time he's had this much work 2 seasons in a row is when, he started missing time for a couple years. So would not be surprised. I hate to put it out there. I hate to even talk about it, but he has had a lot of work 2 years in a row, and that's just tough on running back.
Yeah, he had 417 touches in 19 games in 2023. Hard to repeat. We are coming up here. In fact, we are on the clock right now. So who do you like at this spot? Personally, Tyler, I think Marvin Harrison's being drafted a little too high here. I'm not. I like Drake London.
I've been going London Harrison in this situation when nobody's there.
We have a pick come back to back here. So I'll go Drake London there. And then are you still going wide receiver with this pick? What are you thinking in terms of our second pick?
In this situation, I've just been going London and Harrison. I do really like Gibbs, but there's, some volume issues with him.
Right. And the issue with that is like you're drafting him essentially like at his ceiling, right? I feel like that position for him is your, I don't know. He could easily, if let's say something happens during the season, they give him more, goal line touches. That just, I don't know. I just think there's too much variability there. If Montgomery
gets hurt, he could potentially be, number 1 RB overall, but I think it needs injury to happen. And at this point in the draft, I hesitate to draft because of that.
Yeah. So we had a comment when we were talking about CMC. If CMC is healthy the entire season, there's no chance a single player in the NFL produces more fantasy points than him, correct? What is your take, Tyler? I think it's hard to argue with that.
Well, wasn't CeeDee Lamb right there with him last year?
CeeDee Lamb was there too. Also, you know who? CMC had over 100 PPR points higher than the next RB2, which was Breece Hall. But you could make the argument for another running back to get the volume and workload. Like Breece Hall is an interesting prospect for me this season, and he came out as a Jets fan too. You know, maybe I'm a little biased, but just a little.
I much prefer Bijan over Breece.
Really? Okay.
Oh yeah.
Why is that?
Way more. For the fact that offense that we're going to see in Atlanta is just totally different. It's going to be more of that Rams style offense, most likely, with the coaching change there. And that Rams system is so productive for running back, and you have a talent like Bijan. I think, there's a real path to him being the number one RB overall. Even if CMC repeats another good season, I think Bijan could keep up with him.
Yeah, absolutely. And to your point, I made this note that his new offensive coordinator, Zach Robinson, says they're going to employ him just like CMC. He's going to play running back first and foremost. And then any way we can find creative ways to get him the ball like the Niners do with Christian McCaffrey, and continue to tailor and tweak things to find creative ways to get him the football. So to your point, it seems like he's going to be a focal point of that offense with a nice, experienced quarterback back there.
Yeah, I agree. Sorry, I thought you were finishing there. I was going to interject real quick with the last year, CeeDee Lamb, 335.5 fantasy points and half point, and CMC had 357.8. So about a 20-point difference, but, they were close.
Yeah. So you could make the argument, our commenter, to go with CD's situation, especially now that there's not as much competition for targets in Dallas. And that seems to be a very high-powered offense. They're projected to get a lot of points this season. So not a bad bet.
Yeah. And Tyreek was on an insane pace before he got banged up.
Yeah, and Tyreek Hill's another interesting one. I think the value is really there for Jalen Waddle in best ball because of the fact that, Tyreek's has that insane target share, but if he's out a couple weeks, that could be huge spike weeks for Jalen Waddle, who did well without Tyreek Hill there. And for best ball purposes, you need those spikes are like what get you all the points to win. So coming up here on our double pick, which I despise, especially for content purposes, because we have to rush.
But yeah, it's just so much time passes, and it's definitely a tough spot.
So we talk a lot about George Pickens this season. He just went off the board. I like Pickens this season.
I think 33 is too early for him. I do have to say that.
Okay.
Yes. I'm not taking him that early. So what are you thinking here coming up?
So coming up, I think the tight end position has a lot of there's a lot of really good tight ends you can get a little bit later. So Sam Laporta's probably not. Derrick Henry, maybe. Tank Dell, meh. I don't know. He's wide receiver 3 on that team. I like Josh Allen. I like Amari Cooper. What are you thinking?
Dell or Allen and Cooper would be kind of my 3 favorite here. I don't mind
I'll just go Allen.
T. Higgins,
fantasy.
I much prefer Dell.
All right.
But yeah, I'm totally fine with Allen there.
How about for our next pick here? We've got these guys on the board still. Any
Uh,
thoughts?
I prefer Dell, but we could
Okay.
go Cooper if you would rather do that.
We'll go Coop. I oh, we're not going Coop. Oh, we are. I got it in
Yeah,
the
we got him.
last second. All
Yep.
right. So talk to me about your theory on Tank Dell, because that was one I was a little hesitant about. This, I mean, he had unbelievable numbers and outpaced Nico Collins when he was playing. Like, he outdid him in
Yeah.
a lot of those stat categories when he was playing. But now you're talking about bringing in Stephon Diggs into the mix. I'm just like, I just don't know how that's all going to work out with the volume.
I'm not sold on Diggs. I don't know if
Okay.
Houston really should
Yeah.
have made that move to get him.
Hmm.
He's starting to get a little up there. We're seeing a little decline in his production. I wouldn't be surprised if Dell is their number one this year. I think Nico should be going ahead of Dell, I think,
Hmm.
just due to the fact that Nico, when he goes off, has just
Yeah.
huge boom potential that, these other guys don't have. But as far as consistency and, getting their work in every day, I think Dell is that guy for the team.
Yeah.
I
When you
personally
talk,
think Diggs falls off a little bit more, and I think he's the third.
there was some thought that the reason the Bills cut him was because they think maybe he lost a step. And even though some articles online that I've read have pointed to the fact that, like, hey, first 10 weeks of the season, he was wide receiver 5 overall in PPR points, but his numbers dropped significantly with Ken Dorsey's firing. So was it the new offense, or was it the fact that Stephon Diggs just kind of fell off? I mean, we saw him kind of just drop really important passes in the playoffs. And to your point, does he still have it? That's a very valid question. And taking a chance on a player like Dell, who in the 7 full games that Dell and Nico Collins played together, Dell bested him in every category, basically. Led in target share, air yard share, weighted opportunity, fantasy points per game, and some monster numbers, which could help you for sure. But that'll be an interesting offense for sure to watch. I'm excited to see, because now teams have had a whole offseason to game plan for that offense. So I'm curious to see, what they put together and what CJ Stroud does too. All right, so our team right now, we've got Josh Allen, Drake London, Marvin Harrison, and Amari Cooper. Let me. The reason I went with Josh Allen, Tyler, I just had read an article about him and how the offense, I mean, it's always been with the Bills, like Josh Allen centric, but even more so now without Diggs. It might even be better for his fantasy output, which he's had a top 2 fantasy quarterback each of the past 4 seasons, and third highest graded passer, third most rushing attempts in that span as well. So I feel like he's also one of those fantasy studs that you really can't, it's like a consistent performer when he's healthy.
Totally. I totally agree. I love the pick. I love having him on a team. And there's also some data behind it. Just if you get to the finals, having, a stud quarterback just makes your ceiling so much higher for your team. And I mean, when it comes down to it, we're trying to win, 1.5 mil. So
Yeah,
having
got to
that
take
big
some
ceiling
shots.
makes a giant difference. So we're coming up here,
Yeah.
and there's some running backs on the board. There's a couple wide receivers.
Are we
We
ready
could
for a running
go.
back?
We could go James Cook. Never mind. I could have
That
started our stack there a little bit.
would have been a good one. I love James Cook.
If we can, I
Go
don't mind
Dogs.
getting the Josh Jacobs and Jaden Reed combo at the turn
All
here.
right.
If
Another
they'll fall
offense
to us.
that's projected to be pretty great. So
Dang
Reed
it,
did
Reed
not.
went.
So how does that impact how you evaluate these picks here?
We have 3 solid receivers.
Yeah.
do think I still want to go Jacobs. I think 60 is too late for him.
Definitely.
And
Definitely.
then I either would want to go Rashee Rice and play the game of
Mm-hmm.
we don't really know what's happening with him, or
Sure.
go to George Kittle.
Oh,
Uh, I think we are really going to want some San Francisco for the best ball playoffs.
all right. Let's do it.
They
George
uh,
Kittle.
they play week 15. The 49ers play the Rams. Week
Mm-hmm.
16,
Ooh.
they play Miami. And then week 17, they play Detroit. So
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be hard to not have that offense, I think, for
Yeah.
for the playoffs.
Yeah. Those games, like, it's going to be some high scoring affairs for sure. So,
Uh,
good point
do you
there.
want to put in our Q
Yeah.
Keon Coleman or yeah? Hopefully
Let's
he
cue
can
him up.
fall to us just so we can start a little bit of a stack there.
Sure.
Um,
Let's
it
see.
is nice with Josh Allen as he's like one of the only top uh, quarterbacks that like his pass catchers go further back. So you can kind of,
Yeah.
attempt to stack him. Like the only one that goes early is Kincaid.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Kincaid goes early.
But with us being on the turn, we
It's hard.
like we're gonna have to get lucky a little bit to get Keon. Um,
Totally.
but then if we don't get him, we really got to worry about making sure we try and get Samuel, and maybe Shakir. But you could also just throw Dawson Knox there at your last pick of the draft for tight end,
Yeah.
which you know is definitely a way to go.
All right. We got some time here. Let's see. Another let's see who's still on the board here. D Hop. I like D Hop this season. Don't hate it. I know they're gonna have some more pass catchers available there with Tyler Boyd coming over, but I still like Hopkins. I think he's a good receiver, and he had a few spike weeks last year. CJ Stroud, of course. Let's see. Any thoughts on Kenneth Walker?
I haven't been taking much of him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind taking him. I've just been following with Charbonnet a little more.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I also like Lad McConkey is a guy that we've talked about a few times on several of our different shows when we talk about some rookies, when we talked about value wide receivers, just some interesting guys that could pop, especially with that Chargers offense. I know that it is going to be a more run heavy offense. However, they're not going to just let Justin Herbert hand the ball off every time. They're going to use what they have in Justin Herbert. So Lad McConkey as a Georgia Bulldog, a little biased there, but really great receiver that could do well with the Chargers, especially given the fact that they shipped off, remember, Keenan Allen. They basically shipped off all their pass catchers, so they've got to lean on Josh Palmer and their rookie.
Absolutely everything they've done has led them to show that they're trying to run the ball, but the running backs, Gus Edwards, J.K. Dobbins, and a 5th round rookie.
Yep.
It's a weird situation. One of the parts that I want to dive in about is Jackson Smith, JSN.
Okay.
Him and Tyler Lockett, that little combination in a new type of offense that should be throwing a little bit more. Like figuring out how they go together and what their target shares could be is an interesting one, I think, this season. Because if that team is throwing more and the offense is a little more explosive, I think you're going to want players from that offense. But is JSN going a little high? Like, I mean, his ADOT last year was so low.
But when you consider that he really missed the first part of the season, and as a rookie, that hurts you a lot when you're not in there game planning and doing all the things. So, especially given the fact that there is definitely reason for optimism around the Seattle Seahawks offense now that you're bringing in a guy who had a prolific offense in college, and Ryan Grubb now as the offensive coordinator. So the Seahawks should be passing the ball more. And in fact, he told Geno Smith he sees this offense running through him as a drop back passer. So they'll lean heavily on play action. And so that's an interesting offense. I'm glad you brought that up because that's a really good one to talk about.
Yeah, that offense, Atlanta, Jacksonville, I'm intrigued in all of those quite a bit. And then I mean Green Bay too. I think that offense is going to be pretty good. But I think that's a more obvious one.
Hopefully nobody snipes our pick that's watching. I like yeah. I really like I like Curtis Samuel.
I do too.
But he didn't need
11 picks above ADP.
That was a
I mean, we really need Coleman to drop to us now.
Hopefully Zakir 4477 doesn't break our hearts right here.
Yeah.
We'll see.
So that's an
ahead.
obvious one. It's then broke our heart.
What did you do to us? Okay. We got to rethink this one.
I do think we still need some wide
running
receiver.
Back.
They don't love Jameis.
I know you don't like
Williams
Williams.
Here.
Let's see who else. We could do Palmer.
But I think we kind of need to.
Who do you want to do?
5 seconds. I think Shakir's. We can wait.
All right, so we went Palmer. Oh, no, we didn't.
Kyler,
I messed us up. Ah.
Oh, you went Palmer and.
Okay. I must have just. I don't even know how that happened, but.
You got timed out for the first pick and then got Palmer for the second.
Got it. So valuable lesson.
Well,
pay attention.
We're done at quarterback
now
because we have way too much upside at quarterback.
So,
but we have Marvin Harrison, so I'm fine with it.
You know what? I like that you're looking on the bright side of my my slow fingers. Slow fingers.
Yeah, we're gonna have to try and get Shakir, Ray Davis, Knox, and just do a little different stack. The thing with Allen, with his rushing upside, you don't necessarily have to have 2 guys or 2+. So,
how many quarterbacks have you been traditionally going with in your builds?
Depends on what I do. If I'm taking Allen, most of the time I only have 1 quarterback. I will go to 3 sometimes if I'm going to a build that has like 2 tight ends.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm pretty much interchanging either 3 quarterbacks or 3 tight ends on my team.
Gotcha. Interesting.
And just kind of depends on the draft capital, to both spots.
All right. One of my other favorite former Georgia Bulldogs, Zamir White, is off the board as well. I like him for this season, as I talked about on I believe it was our running backs video, or maybe it was, we did a video called My Guys, and Tyler and I both gave guys that we love drafting. Zamir White is one that I really like. And because even though you don't look at that offense and you think this is, one I can rely on for fantasy purposes, because it's more of like a run game balanced kind of offense, ball control offense. They have a great defense. But Zamir, when he had his time filling in last season, among 41 qualifying backs, ranked 13th in explosive run rate, 6th in yards after contact per attempt, and 17th in success rate. So,
yeah, he was a beast. Have you seen his off-season photos?
no, I haven't. I need to dive into
He
that. The
like
off-season
a
videos are the
bodybuilder.
best.
The guy is giant right now.
Yeah,
Like
those Georgia running backs, I feel like that's a trend with them or something, because I just saw literally before the show a video of Nick Chubb benching, and Nick Chubb is 8 months 8 months after several serious knee surgeries, and he is like he's squatting like 500 pounds. It's insane. So
it is.
I'm all aboard some Nick Chubb fantasy comebacks for this year after seeing that video. It's pretty crazy. I mean, just the strength these guys have. I mean, I guess they have to, being like the running back and all the hits they take, but man, some workout inspiration. I'll be over here with my little dumbbells and my little girly weights. Don't mind me, Tyler, at the gym.
Get it.
Have you been watching Have you been watching the new season of Receiver on Netflix? Has anyone? Drop in the comments what you think about it.
I have. I don't know, 4 or 5 into it. I think.
You're ahead of me. Yeah. It's such a good show. It's interesting to see like the behind the scenes stuff. And I loved watching Devontae Adams specifically. I thought it was really cute how he had, well, first of all, like his little daughter's birthday party was like really adorable. But then also the fact that like Jimmy, you could see the level of frustration he had with that offense last season. It kind of like made me feel for him and his situation. Like I was like, oh, why can't you just be reunited with Aaron Rodgers in New York? You know? What do you think, Tyler? Could it happen?
Sorry. I was trying to respond to our chat there. What was it that you just said? The Devontae Adams to the Jets.
To the Jets. Are you buying in on that hype train?
Honestly, I think it would be an interesting 3-team deal between the 49ers, Las Vegas, and the Jets. Like, do you think that they could pull that off, where it's all 3 of them?
Yeah.
With obviously sending Adams to the Jets. Wilson would probably have to go. Ayuk would have to go, and there would have to be some creativity to make the money work. But I think that could happen. All right, so let's cue Shakir because we need him, and we also need to get a running back.
Running back. Ooh, I like Devin Singletary.
I do too. He's probably my favorite. Looks like we will get Shakir. I do like Brian Robinson too, but Singletary is going to be the guy, and with us only having one, we should probably grab him first.
Totally. Oh, we had a commenter say the light mode. Are you a light mode guy or a dark mode guy on your Underdog best ball drafting? You don't care?
A couple people just said that.
I'm light mode. I'm light. Come on.
Yeah, I'll go either one. It doesn't matter to me.
I feel like the light, it's like bright, happy energy. It's like dark is like dungeon. I feel like I'm in Bowser's castle in Mario Kart. Okay. The star looking thing. Click on that for dark mode. All right. Aha. Oh, what do we think? Are we going to the dark side? I like it. What do you think, Tyler? Okay, everybody in the comments, what do you think? Light or dark? This is light. This is dark.
I mean, I think dark looks better.
Okay. Well, you're right. It does. It's all about the viewers. So whatever you guys want. Yeah. Who goes number 1 in the Mario Kart draft? It's got to be, I don't know. Tyler's probably Princess Peach guy. No?
What do you mean? Like if you're drafting the Mario Kart
if you're
players?
drafting Mario Kart players, who's your first pick in the draft for Mario Kart?
Ooh. I think
It's a tough question.
I always played with the mushroom, I think.
Toad? The mushroom. Yeah, Toad.
Hey, I forgot Toad's name.
I feel like you should know this stuff. Don't you have a daughter who's probably about to be getting into
She's still too young for that.
For the Super Mario Brothers movie.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what kids are into these days, but I know that Mario is popular again. So Toad is 101, obviously, says Green Bean. I don't know. I always, I do love a Peach draft. I also like a Yoshi. That's a fun one. Fun noises.
If you're at 101 going Peach, I think you're overdrafting.
Oh, okay. I mean, what do you like? Get Wario first overall, like a sociopath? Oh my god, I bet you do.
You gotta go
Toad.
What do we have right now on our team? You want to click the draft board to show?
Sure they do. We got Marvin Harrison, Josh Allen, Amari Cooper, Josh Jacobs, George Kittle, Kyler Murray by accident. Whoops. Josh Palmer, Khalil Shakir, Devin Singletary right there. So
right. We need to hit wide receiver and running back hard still. A little behind on wide receiver with two high-end quarterbacks. I guess we have 5. We're not too far behind. We're probably far behind in running back.
Yeah. When you do your 0 RB builds, how late do you wait to fill that? Does it just depend on where you're at with your team?
That group around like the 80s where Najee Harris is or so is where I've been starting my running backs on those type of builds. And I usually take or try and get 2 from that area, the 80s to 100. And then just, keep piling them on, because on those type teams, I usually have 5 or 6 pretty solid receivers already.
Man, the comments are popping off today. Thanks, guys. It makes it entertaining. I appreciate it. They're making me laugh. Yeah, they definitely should be kicked out of P-Dub-O side. Yes, that is correct. They have to be kicked out of the league immediately. You're asking for a friend?
Oh. Yeah.
The internet is crazy these days. What's popping off? Although,
See, and this is exactly why the reason I keep drafting Charbonnet is because he's around at this point in the draft, and it's usually when I'm looking for some guys upside.
Yeah. Okay.
I like Sharbs here. I like Dowdle. I don't mind. Oh, we already have Jacobs, so I don't want Lloyd.
You want to go Charbonnet? Zach Charbonnet?
Yeah. And you already have him here. Okay, never mind. Can you... Oh, I don't mind going Kendre Miller or Rico. Oh, never mind. Sorry, I didn't realize you weren't all the way up. I would go Jerome Ford.
Let's do it. Although the comeback kid is coming back. Nick Chubb.
Hey, that's his second very serious
His workout is looking good. I know.
I think they'll be very cautious with him even when he does come back. And Ford is going to get his.
And what we've seen traditionally in fantasy football purposes is like the season directly after they lose a step, and then the following season is when they usually are back to At least what we've seen with guys
Yeah.
like
The
Saquon,
other
for
thing
example.
is that we're also going to likely see a offense change in Cleveland, where they're going to use a little more spread, uh, which could benefit Ford. Just a few more dump offs or whatnot coming his
Tyler,
way.
am I taking crazy pills? Because I think that I am still not out on Deshaun Watson at this point. Like, I have hope for him.
Oh, I like him. He's one of my higher owned quarterbacks.
I mean, look what Flacco did with them. I just think, I don't know. As someone who was
Deshaun
like one of the
Watson is
best
my
fantasy
second highest.
quarterbacks a couple years ago.
Yeah, Deshaun Watson's my second highest owned quarterback right now.
Wow. Who's your highest owned?
Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, nice. I'm interested. That's an offense. The Eagles' offense is an interesting one now with Kellen Moore. I'm curious to see what differs because, quite frankly, last year the play calling with the Eagles was like pretty bad, and they blitzed him a ton
and throw the ball a lot. That's what we've seen with him.
That'd be great for fantasy.
Mm-hmm. Just hopefully he can stay healthy this season, because the back half of that year he definitely wasn't. His rushing dropped off big time.
I was gonna look up. Let's see, Jalen. No, Brown. What do you think about AJ Brown, and will he be a top 5 wide receiver for fantasy?
I like him. I've been drafting a lot of them when I'm in that range.
To your point, I was looking up a few stats. That's the reason I brought it up, because I was just reading about how like atrocious the play calling was last year. So when you look back at, for example, play action plays per season, it was 111, 133, and then 81 last year. RPO passes 95, 122, then 89. Blitzes faced per season 124, 172, 185. So that kept going up. Throwaways per season had been 22, then 23, then 35 last year. So the offense was a little out of sync last year with the Eagles, but that's to AJ Brown, who could be the beneficiary of some positive regression. Devontae Smith, 88% downfield targets were deemed catchable compared to Brown's just 54%. And look what he was able to do with that last year. So also, just bring in the stats, Tyler. I did my homework, so I got to show it off.
I like it.
All right, we got 5 picks, and we're back on the clock. Good time to note. Make sure, if you guys are downloading Underdog for the first time, to use the promo code LineStar. And if you can do us a favor right now, if you guys are tuning into the draft, give us a like, fire off a comment or two. It helps us out in the algorithm. And, we like hearing from you guys, because you guys are bringing the comments today. I appreciate it. Yeah. Some people are like, with the Watson take that we were talking about.
Yeah, they don't like it.
Yeah, second half. They think you're crazy, but
that's fine. The problem is that he's just going so late, and he was going later earlier in the draft season, where he's 170-ish for ADP, and he has good weapons. I like Njoku. I like Cooper, and I like Ford as a late running back. So if I get stopped out from some other stacks, I can fall back on just grabbing Watson a lot. Oh, we're on the clock.
We're up. We up. What do we want to do here? We could.
What do we got? Wide receiver. Ooh, I do like Demarcus Robinson.
Yeah, that's an. We were. That Rams offense, I like it.
And then
it could be really good.
And then I don't mind going Luke Musgrave. We have Jacobs already, so we're just getting more of that offense, which is the one
Is
thing
always a
I'm
good thing. Yeah, I
a
mean, I'm
proponent
liking the
of.
offenses that we're getting right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's not rocket
Buffalo.
science where
Yeah.
the best
Green
fantasy
Bay.
scorers come from the best offenses, unless there's somebody that just gets insane workload for a bad offense.
Right. Let's see what we got here. Oh, someone not liking Pittman at his ADP. Pittman's
Yeah,
interesting
I'm
with
in the same
Anthony
spot.
yeah.
Yeah,
Let's see what I have on.
AR is a good pick. I mean, he's solid. The big worry there is, is he going to struggle to stay healthy in the NFL? But if he does, he's in an amazing spot.
And I feel like Michael Pittman in that offense, he's like been one of the more consistent producers for fantasy purposes. He was wide receiver 19 in average half PPR scoring last season, and that was catching passes from Gardner Minshew. And I feel like it's more of a safer option, but he could have some upside where it's like, I get that it's not like the most sexy pick, but he hasn't had more than 6 touchdowns over the last 3 seasons. So if he does get some touchdowns, I feel like he could have some big value. Just hasn't.
Yeah, I just think they're going to rush the ball so
Yeah.
much once they're in the red zone that, touchdowns might be hard to come by again. But who knows? I mean, touchdowns are just so hard to project.
Yeah.
I don't mind. I don't love it, but I don't mind grabbing Ray Davis if he falls to us just for more Buffalo.
Yep. Yeah, let's see who we've still got on the board here.
We could go Michael Wilson for more Kyler stack. I do kind of prefer Dortch or Zay Jones over him a little bit, though.
Mm-hmm. All right. Where is Zay Jones?
What are your thoughts on Luke McCaffrey?
That, I mean, I'm nervous about that offense, how it's going to look. What about you?
I think McCaffrey, where he's going, is an interesting kind of thing to talk about. For the reason being, Dotson hasn't really lived up to the hype. He was with the last coaching staff's, draft pick, and McCaffrey is the new one. So, I mean, I think there's a path to him actually ending up as the wide receiver 2.
Yeah.
Which, where he's going is a value if he can do that, but who knows if he can. He obviously has some pedigree.
Yeah, that's for sure. McCaffreys have done well in fantasy football. So there's that.
Fantasy football around when their dad was playing?
I'm sure, but maybe it was like you had to like, it was
You had to do it out of the news.
You keep it, out of the newspaper.
Yeah.
Keeping score.
Yeah, the OG fantasy players.
All right. 4 picks away.
Oh, yeah. He joined the Broncos in 1995, so yeah, there was definitely some fantasy.
Nice.
All our guys got taken there.
That was brutal.
That's fine. There's so many different ways to go. I think our last pick of the draft should probably be Dawson Knox, just to get more Buffalo. If anything happens, Kincaid, Knox is going to play. So
who are we thinking here?
I mean, Rome is falling in ADP. Pittsburgh is good with selecting.
Ooh,
Oh,
we got
he's gone
sniped.
too. What about Eli Mitchell? Like I said, there is that playoff that's great.
Yep,
And if anything happens to CMC, he's, the number one.
that's a good point.
Uh, and then I don't mind Jalen McMillan. Um,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
who else do we have at wide receiver? Q McMillan, just in case. I don't mind Javon Baker either.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with
Q's queued, so
McMillan.
he's gonna go.
Yeah. I'm hoping
Oh,
the offense for what were you thinking? Tez Walker?
no. I've only been taking Walker if I take Lamar.
Got it.
But can
Or Zay
you
Jones?
star Zay Jones
Yeah.
and then also with Greg Dortch?
Where is he?
He's going to be further down. Oh,
Just
somebody
Greg.
took him?
What?
Wow. I can't believe he already went. I missed that one. And then do Dawson Knox too. Because those two will just kind of round out the two stacks. We have Rams, Arizona, and Rams play week 17. So we have the nice little week 17 correlation there. Buffalo plays your Jets week 17. We unfortunately don't have any Jets, but that's all right.
That's all right.
I doubt Conklin is still there, but he's somebody we could have put on.
Yeah, Conklin. I mean, even he put up some stats last year with the terrible offense that was the Jets. So,
Wow. We're
however,
at 180, 89, and Watson is still there, and Mayfield and Levis. That's crazy.
yeah. And in that situation, I know we with the Bucks, the only thing I'm concerned about is the coach going over to Carolina and Baker Mayfield maybe.
Yeah, and I mean, he had a pretty amazing season last year. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if there's really up from there for him,
Yeah.
but I still like where he's being drafted. I don't mind. The thing with Tampa Bay too, though, is that it could be once again where all of the targets and a very condensed target tree or usage for the running back like last year, whereas like pretty much everything went through Evans, Godwin, or White. I like attacking those type situations just because you're at least getting a floor with some solid ceiling.
Yeah. Dave Canales, the quarterback whisperer, who is now the head coach of the Carolina Panthers. So I don't know much about the new offensive coordinator for the Tampa Bay Bucks. It's Liam Cohen of Kentucky, but it'll be an interesting one to watch. There's a lot of interesting pieces. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Rashad White for fantasy purposes.
Yeah. With our last picks, instead of Eli Mitchell, we could have taken Braylon Allen, which would have been a little interesting with Buffalo playing the Jets in week 17. But, I mean, both situation, it's a backup. You need injury to really succeed there, and who knows if it'll happen.
Yeah, Vadim says the thing is Evans is old. Godwin didn't do much last year, so it's a challenge to stack
Yes.
TB. I hear that.
Godwin was out wide though last year, and we have seen year year in, year out, he excels when he's in the slot, and all the talk is that he's going back to the slot. For that reason, I'm still in on Godwin, but there's definitely worries with him.
3 picks away.
So I'm fine going Zay Jones and Dawson Knox just to get those stacks and be out of it. But if you want to go somewhere else, let me hear your ideas. I don't think we'll get swooped on either of those guys, so.
Nothing. Yeah.
I do think Juan Jennings is an interesting one. I wouldn't pick him for this team, but he got paid this offseason. There's the talk about the Ayuk trade. Parasol is now on the non-injury list, or non-football injury list.
Yeah.
So
I like what we've got here. I think this.
Yeah, for this team, I think this is what we got to do. And then, so what's the whole team we got here?
Yeah. Pull up our team. So we got, can we see it if we click on our, not yet. All right. We got Josh Allen, Kyler Murray at quarterback. Our running backs are Josh Jacobs, Devin Singletary, Zach Charbonnet, Jerome Ford, and Elijah Mitchell. Wide receiver, Drake London, Marvin Harrison, Amari Cooper, Joshua Palmer, Khalil Shakir, Demarcus Robinson, Jalen McMillan, Zay Jones, George Kittle, Luke Musgrave, Dawson Knox, rounding off our list there. I definitely like the teams that we got. So we got some good offenses and.
Yeah. I mean, I think we have a high enough floor at running back, and we have a high ceiling at wide receiver and obviously quarterback. And I mean, George Kittle's an absolute beast and can carry you through playoffs if he has 3 solid games.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Well, thanks everybody for joining us for our first LineStar Best Ball Draft. Not going to be the last though, so make sure you're tuning in and sign up for those notifications so you know when we're going live and drafting. So we will try to make this a regular occurrence, so always hop in with us. If you got any comments, drop them below, or any questions about your Best Ball Draft coming soon to the LineStar app. If you are not a subscriber yet, I highly recommend hopping in to LineStar, getting a subscription before the season starts, because we are going to be releasing some best ball rankings. Those are coming soon. So that will be a huge help in all of your best ball drafts. So make sure to stay tuned to the LineStar channel. We'll be announcing when that is coming out shortly. So stay tuned. Again, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel so you know we're coming out with videos, like this video, do us a favor and comment below. And good luck, everybody, in all of your best ball drafting. Again, if you haven't downloaded Underdog Fantasy, use that promo code LineStar so you can get a nice deposit match. Plus, it gives you 1 free month of LineStar. So if you've been like on the fence about getting a subscription, or if you're just waiting until football season, you can just get it right now. Get that 1 free month, sets you up, gets you right in time for football season. If you guys are playing DFS or prop betting, you know the LineStar app is an awesome tool that can help you dominate and give you all of the keys to success, all the stats you need to dominate in DFS and prop betting. So thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for sticking with me. Sorry about the audio at the beginning of the show, but hey, you know, the show must go on. We completed a draft, and hopefully we are now going to be $1 million richer come this time next season because of that draft. We'll see if we can win that money.
It's going to be a big Venmo you send me.
All right. Good luck, everybody. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye, guys.